Why don't shrimp donate to charity?
Well, shrimp, like all crustaceans, are rather simple minded creatures. They lack a concept of society, as well as charity, and even the concept of money itself. And even if they did understand it, I don't
Because
think
they're
they would care.
shellfish. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about a purely hypothetical situation in the Pokemon trading card game, as well as really drive home a point that I know I bring up from time to time on this channel, but I really need to emphasize it in my opinion. And really just really reiterate, drive home, really discuss the fact that fear and hype and FOMO, it's all transitory. Markets are forever. Whether they go up or down is another factor altogether. You see, in today's video, I would like to talk about a purely hypothetical scenario. Let us say that tomorrow morning, you wake up and across the board, Pokemon sets are dropping like flies. The Pokemon Company International has absolutely bulldozed the market by printing every single set from the last 12 months into the ground. So we're talking Prismatic Evolution ETBs, Scarlet and Violet Journey Together, Destined Rivals, Mega Evolutions, and yeah, even the most recent one, Phantasmal Flames, as well as some other sets, yeah, obviously. Black and white. But my point is, let's just say that tomorrow, the price of every booster box on the market from the last 12 months was suddenly slashed in half. Thanos snapped its value away. Mostly because I like the analogy because I like snapping my fingers. It's a... Go to the comments section when you're done watching this video. Is my left hand or my right hand snap? Because this one sounds duller to me. This one sounds snappier. I'm going to get really off track. That's going to bother me. All right, I'm going to try to avoid doing that because I lied. I'm going to do that a lot now. Great. It's going to distract the hell out of me. Anyway, back on track. Very easily distracted. Let's say that every booster box lost half of its value tomorrow. $300 booster boxes went down to $150. 230 booster boxes went down to $130. Okay? And this affects everything from the last 12 months. And it's largely, by and large, because the Pokemon Company just put so much product. I should have had a box in my hand for that. They put so much product out into the market that there's just no way that demand could ever keep up for the short term. For the next 2 months, there's just so much available that you can just walk to a store and buy just about anything you want from the last year or so of Pokemon. Any set you can think of, you can pick up at your local game store or GameStop or Walmart, wherever you buy your cards from. And all of a sudden, you can't just pick up a box at MSRP and flip it for an extra $100. You know, in that situation, in that scenario where all of a sudden everything is going down because there's just so much of it out there, I'm going to ask you a question. In this scenario, would you be buying sealed product if you were still participating in Pokemon at all? Now, assuming that you are a fan of Pokemon and you are still participating in the game, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question for you, okay? The vast majority of people who are in the financial corner of the Pokemon world right now, in this scenario, would not be buying sealed product. And I know that with some certainty because this scenario has played out several times over the last I don't know, over a decade, I've been kind of eyeballing the Pokemon market. Maybe not actively participating, but I've had an ear to the ground. I've been aware of the general prices and attitudes people have had towards various boxes and ETBs over the last about decade. Yeah, roughly. 2014 was about a decade ago. So, the thing about market perceptions is that high energy and hype and FOMO, those that wonderful illusion of scarcity, can really drive a lot of the interest behind a product beyond the product itself. Sure, you can have the mega fans of Charizard who absolutely would buy the hell out of Phantasmal Flames or any other Charizard set, right? But by and large, you'll find that a lot of the people who are currently buying Pokemon are doing it for one of 3, 4 reasons, but 3 major ones. They are genuine fans of the game who just want to play and have fun to the best of their ability, collect some stuff because they like it, etc. Then there are the investment-minded people who think that Pokemon in the future is going to be worth more than Pokemon is currently worth. And whether or not they buy product, so whether or not the players and collectors buy it is based almost entirely on whether or not they can afford it. The investors are based entirely on whether or not they think it's a good deal at the time. And then there's the third category, the scalpers, the flippers, the short-term investors who are buying it just because they think they can make a profit. Well, that third of the equation, they actually account for a large amount of the current amount of people buying Pokemon products, because there's a lot of people out there right now who, no rough feelings towards them, but they're just trying to make money, and that's totally understandable in the current economy. And the price of everything is going up. If you can make money selling Pokemon cards, obviously I'm not gonna short you for that, right? I know for a fact that if I could walk down to my local Home Depot and buy some nails and sell them online for almost double the price, I would do that in a heartbeat. So it's beyond my station to decry someone for buying and flipping Pokemon cards. More power to them. But what I will say is that a lot of people who claim to be die-hard Pokemon fans who are have a true passion for the game are also probably going to be the same kind of people who are stepping back and making a critical evaluation of their finances when all of a sudden the box prices are cut in half. The people who are willing to invest, they'll be super excited because they have something they can sit on for a long time. True players and fans of the game, they're going to still buy the cheap boxes. In fact, they're going to be super excited over the cheap boxes. But the short-term individuals, the people who are just looking to make a quick buck, they're going to turn their heads and go towards something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I need to emphasize, I don't think that this is a bad thing. I just want to point out that a lot of these people, they like to justify their purchasing. They like to claim that they are super passionate about Pokemon, when in reality, they just want a quick dollar. And there's nothing wrong with that. There absolutely is nothing wrong with that. They aren't collecting. They aren't building binders. They aren't playing the game. They are just buying Pokemon cards and selling Pokemon cards. And yes, maybe they even ostensibly enjoy Pokemon aesthetically, or they have a memory of playing the games when they were kids. But there's a lot of people out there who just want to buy it and sell it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? With that said, I'd like to point out to those same people, those same short-sighted sellers, that some of the best opportunities for, I don't know, I don't want to call it like financial growth, because this isn't like financial advice, because it's not really what I want to do. But some of the best opportunities for a good deal, okay, will come in those moments. Pokemon has had several cycles of being super cheap, super affordable, and flying under the radar from people. fans will turn up their noses walking past Fusion Strike ETBs at Walmart. That wasn't that long ago. Scarlet and Violet Base. Scarlet and Violet Base, okay? This is one of my favorite Pokemon sets for, if no other reason than it's the introduction of the silver borders. I really like it. I really like the illustration mirrors in it. But that's beside the point. I also like this box because it was super cheap when I bought it. $85 to $90 a box. Let's put you over there. Nowadays, it's what? $200, $230? It's only a 2-year-old set. That's pretty good. In fact, that's better than gambling. It's better than, I don't know, what is it, 10% on the stock market is what people like to say is the ideal return for the stock market or whatever. I should pay more attention to, I don't know, financial gurus. Maybe they're onto something. But, you know, a 10% return is what a lot of people seek in the world. And Scarlet and Violet is up over double what it was 2 years ago. Just because time and hype has shifted. And, you know, what was once a discount set that nobody wanted is now a set that's over MSRP that some people do genuinely want, genuinely desire. And time, just a few short years, changed that. And when Pokemon enters its bear market phase, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, it will happen sooner or later. Sooner or later, Pokemon will be undesirable again for the short-term buyers and sellers. There's people who think that Pokemon will never be $90 a box again. And I'm rooting for that. You know, I'm rooting for Pokemon to never be cheap again. Profit only for the rest of the time. That way, local game stores never get hosed with it. But I've seen this happen before, and I'll see it happen again. Pokemon, I think, will go pretty low. Maybe not to $90, but like $110 is not off the table, in my opinion. You know, we're seeing Magic the Gathering stuff creep downwards just after release. We're seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! Boxes creep down the day of release. I don't think Pokemon going down after release is off the table. I think a time can come in the future. Maybe not tomorrow, in like a hypothetical tomorrow, but maybe at some point. Possibly after the 30th anniversary. Maybe before. Maybe it is the 30th anniversary that does it. Maybe it's just such a bad set that everyone drops it on the floor, right? But to think that change won't come to Pokemon is incredibly naive, because change hits Pokemon really hard. Look at any Pokemon set from the, I don't know, last 10 years. Once upon a time, it wasn't the price it's at currently. Prices go up and down. Sure, when markets are more bearish than bullish, they maybe don't go down as much as people might want or desire or be inclined to buy at, but they do decline, and I think that can happen for Pokemon again. So that opinion, of course, is entirely based exclusively on my own experiences with Pokemon over the last 10 years again, you know. But I think it's incredibly foolish to think that things won't change and that markets won't get cold again. And when they do get cold again, I would just like to talk to those people out there who are just in it to get that bread. Once again, no shade thrown at those guys. There will be opportunities to get things for very cheap sooner or later. And you have to look at those items when they are cheap and you have to ask yourself, you know, looking back at the last 10 years of Pokemon, what is the worst set from the last 10 years? Steam Siege, maybe? How much was that at release? How much did people hate it at release? And how much is it now? Ask those questions and decide for yourself whether or not this bad set that's $110 a box that nobody apparently wants, is it that bad a buy for the long term if you're financially minded? That's really all I want to say. So there we go. That's my patented Pokemon video for the week. I suppose I will be keeping an eye on Phantasmal Flames as we creep closer to Cyber Weekend. I'm doing my best to keep an eye on the entire sales charts across. Well, I suppose I can talk about that for a bit. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Magic the Gathering, Spider-Man. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Pokemon. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Yu-Gi-Oh! Flesh and Blood, because I'm curious to see if Super Slam is going to do better on the Cyber Weekend. But I'm also going to be keeping an eye on Lorcana and Star Wars Unlimited throughout the sale, because I'm curious to see if either of those games get a huge uptick. Whispers in the Well for Lorcana has apparently been doing really good. I like that a lot. I'm just curious to see where it's going to go. Star Wars Unlimited, meanwhile, you guys know my opinion on that game, but I am going to give it an honest once-over and just take a look at it as the sale progresses. So I suppose distracting myself from Pokemon for a bit and my finger-snapping nonsense. Cyber sale coming soon, and I'm curious to see what the data says. So, all right. I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Do you agree with my sentiment that Pokemon will possibly get cheaper one day, or do you think I'm crazy and it can only ever go up? Let me know in the comments below. I do read every comment that you guys leave on the channel. I love every single one. I appreciate them so much because it's feeding the algorithm, and the algorithm feeds me. Finally, I do have a Patreon page. You can throw money at me if you feel so inclined. If you want to fund my ramen budget for the month, hey, I got a Patreon page. And I also have an open Discord page where anybody can yell at anybody else about anything else. Not really organized, but we have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao.